Hey, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So, how's it
Hi.
going?
Good.
Oh, that's great. And how was your week in choices and in other apps that you play? You enjoyed?
Pretty good.
And
For choice
yeah, sorry, what?
for choices, it was very good. The current chapter of Wake the Dead,
Yeah.
when when the sister passed away, I
Oh,
actually cried.
I know.
I thought she was gonna die later on the story around around between chapters 5 through 10. But as soon as in chapter 2, almost near the ending, she just died right away.
Yeah, I know. It was really sad, you know. I think and I didn't really expect our sister to die, because I thought maybe she is our, like she's going to protect us through everything because she's more experienced than our main character. That came
Hmm.
as a shock, but I still hope. I don't think if it's true or not that what if she's alive or somehow you can find her. I would be really happy, but that was a really emotional moment there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though it's it's been 9 or 10 days. Still, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks, and thanks for coming. I would love to chat about high school story, and I can see in your profile picture Ajay's photo, one of the love interests from Class Act. So I would love to talk about that and the original high school story, and of course some newer books like Wake the Dead first two chapters. I'd love to chat with you. What do you think? I just recently played that, so thanks for coming.
Okay.
Yeah. And would you like to introduce yourself a bit as a Choices fan? And also, you do have a YouTube channel, right, where you post some playthroughs of Choices games?
Yes. Hello, viewers and listeners. My name is Ezekiel. You can call me Zeke. I have a YouTube channel called Ezekiel Trebois, and I have an Instagram account and Twitter. I can sometimes be found. If you want to chat with me, you can talk with me on Instagram or Twitter or on Discord. And I also have a YouTube channel where I post gameplays. Next up, I think um I'm gonna replay the main series. I'm gonna replay the Royal Romance and Home for the Holidays because besides High School Story and Class Act, those two are series that I really enjoyed. Not counting the Royal Hair because I didn't enjoy that much. Besides the third book and the Royal Finale.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I have not read that book Home for the Holidays, right?
Yes.
I have not read that, but I know it brings a holiday vibe. I tried to read that, but I will definitely, watch the playthroughs you post because personally I don't think I'm going to like I do want to take the diamond scenes, but with other books I won't be able to it. I will definitely be reading through your playthroughs, and also I'll be linking his Instagram and YouTube down below in the comment section so you can check him out, the playthroughs and the choices fan page, and that would be really exciting because you also post a lot of interesting stuff on your choices page, and I really like to see them and your thoughts and opinions about stories and recent stories.
Yes.
Yeah. So before we get started with high school story or other books, I would love to know how did you discover choices, or when did you first start playing choices? So tell us something about that.
Okay, I joined Choices because from my advertisement.
Mhm.
At first when I saw the game, I didn't want to play because I thought it would be like similar like episode. But
Yeah,
when I finally played, I played like finally played like around in like April or March of 2017.
it's a long time ago.
And first I wasn't in the fandom that I wasn't in the fandom at all. I just played by myself. I still had my YouTube channel, but it wasn't Choices themed. I used to have videos of myself and my other interests that are now deleted. But in what you call that, around 2019, I had it. I started uploading my gameplays, but deleted them. And then in 2020 and 2021, started replaying and uploading them to YouTube.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I did watch some of your videos, choices playthroughs. They were really good, and specifically, I think Class Acts, Ajay Route, right?
Yes, I'm gonna upload those playthroughs soon.
Can't wait for those. I would definitely love to see. So that's interesting. So you did start playing choices a long time ago, 2017. For me, it was
Yeah.
2019. So what was your first book that you read?
The freshman.
Oh, that's cool. And who was? What was your first insight or first impression of the story or the app choice? Like, how did you the interactive story? Like you get to choose. Like, how did you feel about all this?
I was really excited. I was really excited. For the first few months I was playing nonstop, and I really enjoyed the stories. At that time I saw at that let me see, I don't know when, but at that time I saw Bloodbound and I told
Yeah.
myself I wasn't gonna play it. And then around in 2018 or around in a little later in 2018, I started playing there was many of the books that were running such as the Royal Romance that I told myself the time I knew about the Royal Romance, they are already making book 3. I told myself I wasn't gonna play it because it would take too much time and too much time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's really. I haven't played the Royal Romance to be fair, because when I came in 2019, it was already there, and I felt like, wow, I have to go through like lots of books, and it has spin-offs.
Mhm.
It was kind of impossible for me to like, cover all the ground and read all the Royal Romance books.
Yes. But
So I
hmm
understand what you're
but you should
talking
but you
about.
should you should read it someday.
Yeah, I would definitely. But the thing is that it's like a really big, like series and stuff. So if I start something, I would like to finish it. So I'm just holding it off for now.
hmm
Yeah. So who was your first love interest in choices? Like
My first would be my fir- my first would be Chris
Chris
from the
from Freshman.
yes.
That's really good. Yeah, I when I played Freshman, I chose Chris as well. So like that was not my first book, but when I played Freshman and the side books, I think it's a great series in choices out there. That's really good. Excuse me. Okay, so when did you play the high school story, and which one did you play first, the class act or the original high school story?
I played the original first. I don't know when, but played the original first, and then around book 3, I saw Pixelberry. I found out about Pixelberry's Instagram page about the chapters still um continuing
Yeah.
class act. For class act, when I saw the thing on what I call that, I saw them on Instagram post about reboot series coming. I got
Uh-huh.
really excited, and that time I was still in high school, and
Oh.
I sometimes wouldn't focus during my classes. Just that I could play the game every Monday and Friday just because of
Oh.
class act.
Oh, so Class Act used to come out twice a week?
No, it was once a week. Book one and two was on Monday, and then book three they switched it to Friday.
Oh, that's really interesting. So I hope you enjoyed Class Act very much, right?
Yes,
That's interesting. So, speaking of class, which one would you like to talk first? Talk about first, High School Story, the original, or Class Act?
the original.
Original. All right. So, first, let me just like when I joined Choices, uh, for the like first time I found about this app, but didn't really play it. I just or I didn't feel the connection with it quite. But the second time I joined back in October 2019, my first book was High School Story, and I was in love with that book. Like, wow! To be honest, very high, and the high school that is in the book. I wish were my high school because it's really fun the way the high school story is represented. So I was totally taken aback and amazed by the experience of playing High School Story. So, and of course, the love interest there. I chose Emma. And do tell me, how did you feel about the outlook of High School Story for you?
It was amazing. I don't know how was able to make friends quickly right away. My love interest at first I picked Emma, and then when I replayed I chose Maria as my current love interest because I think as Emma more as a sister type character,
Hmm.
and the characters are very cute on how they interact, and I
Exactly.
and if no if what do you call that, Myra was a real character, I think me and her would be really great friends.
Oh, Myra, like who was the band member, right?
Yes.
Oh, I loved her. Yeah, she was a great character. Like, so enthusiastic and funny and lighthearted, and like she's an absolutely sweetheart character. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So, in the first book, I mean, I think the first really in a whole of choices, I think in first book you get to make a lot of interesting choices. So, what did you join as an activity? Did you join football, band, or cheer? Which
Band.
band? Wow. So tell me some experience about band because I joined the football. So I was with mostly Julian, Caleb, and all the other group, football group there. So how was band for you? Like how the experience was there?
Okay. For band, we're with Myra, Ezra,
Yeah.
Aiden, and at first when first we either join during lunch break or something. We either in the premium scene. We either do practices. We either practice to see if we can join the band or not. We play
Yeah.
for saxophone.
Mhm.
We either see if we can join band or not by playing like a song, no, a few notes of a song,
Mhm.
and then later on. later on we get chosen. The next day, on the bulletin, our name gets chosen, and then Ezra and no, and then then when we get to class, as the people who are gonna Ezra and Aiden, the people who are gonna choose the song, choose the song for us, get into a fight because Aiden wants to play something simple that the band has been playing for years, and Ezra wants to play something new, and then they go to then and then people who and then they split, and then there's a choice that if you want to go play a new song, you stay with Ezra, or if you want to play something the same thing, you go with Aiden. I picked play something play similar, so I went with Aiden to the cafeteria. A few of the a few of the color guard, Emma, who was in color guard and all those follows, and we go to cafeteria and practice a song, blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
And then during games and all that, we practice. And then I forgot what happens in book two, but in book three, one of the new students that come, Tucker and Jade, they
Oh
try
yeah.
sabotage. Tucker and Jade, they try sabotage. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which after school activity you take. They try sabotaging the MC about something, about either missing practices with some email or something. And then
Yeah, yeah.
while Nishon and Sakira, those characters are playing their game, MC tries to get their attention, but they don't listen. So MC posts a plug, and the computer that Lewis is using, they find out all the information that either one of them, Jade or Tucker, sabotage them.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a big one. So
Mm-hmm.
you played as a band member throughout the high school story, right? Like book one, book two, book three.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I personally chose to be a football player. Then I joined the basketball team, and then I joined the baseball team. That was interesting. That so I didn't really know what happens when you were for the band. But by the way, you said in book three the sabotaging thing. So I remember I was in the baseball, and I was like, there was a tryout for a position that both Jade and our main character were fighting for. So if you are in band, so will Jade also join the band, or how that works out, that competition there, or the sabotaging?
Mm, I'm not really sure, but there was something. I think. Let me see. I think she would join. I think not she. It's either Tucker or Jade. I think they don't join, or I think they don't join, but some sabotaging occurs. I think they don't join, but some sabotaging occurs.
Yeah, I also think so. Like it's a really good, big one. So I kind of forgotten some stuff. Yeah, but one more question for you. In the at the end of book one, which character, which love interest came to your house to ask you for homecoming? Can you hear me? Hello, Zeke. Can you hear me? Hello, Zeke. Can you hear me? Zeke, can you hear me? Zeke, can you hear me? Zeke, am I audible? Hi, can you hear me? So there's some interruption, I guess. Yeah, that's okay. That was a technical issue, but yeah, now it's fine. So, am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I asked the question that who was the love interest that asked you to homecoming at the end of book one?
Mm, Maria. No, first
Maria.
there was Emma. First there was Emma. Then when I replay those Maria.
That's interesting. I mean, for me, it was Maria at first. I go to homecoming with Maria because she was the person to ask us, and I was not sure that if I could like turn her down and then choose again because that was my first book. But in book two, when we were given the opportunity to romance others, from then I started choosing Emma, and then throughout the entirety of book two and book three, it was predominantly Emma for me.
Yeah. I think I think if I play again, it'll switch back to Emma because we spent so much time with her in book one that we and her bond a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's like a sweetheart personality, and it's easier to bond with her. So I absolutely love that, like how easily we can bond with her. So that was a plus point for Emma. And we meet Emma first in the book.
Yes. I think she
Yeah.
didn't. I think she didn't have a lots of friends, so maybe that's why she came to MC when it was his first day, showing him or her around, because maybe she didn't have a lot of friends herself.
Yeah. Yeah, if you also remember when we were campaigning for our sister Casey in book two of Class Act, and we were, we Emma comes up and asks us why should he vote for, why should she vote for Casey? Then we say she's a good friend and she can make friends easily. So Emma says that, oh, Casey's really good. I hope I had her around when I first started here in this school.
Yeah. Are you talking about the MC and class act or the sister or the sibling?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
The
sibling?
sibling. Yeah, yeah, the
Oh,
sibling. Yeah, like, there was a scene in book two when we were campaigning for our sister. Sibling.
oh.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So, how much did you like the like not just in the original class high school story, but also in Class Act, we get the villainous look of Brian. So, how do you see Brian as a high school story villain?
He's not that much a good one because
Yeah.
he's a teenager as well, so he can't do that much. But but in book three, in some flashback scene, him and his parents were him and his parents were about were him and his parents and Sky were sitting at a diner
Yeah.
eating, and then Brian tries to flirt with Lilith. Um, if you're
Yeah.
not romancing Sky, you get to romance her and Sky together, and later on. And when she was flirting with Lilith, Lilith, um, um, I thought that he took it too far, and I thought if he met any other girl, because Myra wouldn't date him or wouldn't like him. I thought that if he found any other girl that he was attracted to, even if that girl didn't like Brian, I think he might, I think he might still force her into like a relationship, and in the future, as if the series continued into college years, Brian might become like a pervert like character, but as a villain, a pretty awful one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they did continue to a college, like Brian would be a horrible person at the way he's continuing. Like he's still a teenager in high school, so his deeds are not that much bad for the society, even though they're really, really bad. But yeah, I totally agree. But I just wish they had more to this high school story. Like a college series for this high school guys. That would have been awesome.
But there's too much characters going to different schools. Different schools. It's hard to make a thing series unless if they put all the characters as phone calls. No, we can focus on the college the college MC is going to, and then to see the other characters we see them as like phone calls, like when the MC's on break or before when she's in when they're in their dorm, we can see the other characters through phone calls as premium choices
Yeah,
like premium choice ever no like if we're in high school and let's just say it's like the thing, no, not high school, college, and the
college. Yeah,
character and the MC's on break or something. There'll be a premium choice if the MC wants to talk with their ally or
that's
friends.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that.
Like that.
That yeah, yeah,
Because
exactly.
we can't do like a college with everyone there because they're going to
Yeah,
different colleges and stuff like that.
exactly. Yeah, but
Unless we're
maybe we can
focused
have.
on
Yeah, but maybe we can have like different friends this time. Yeah, like, I know for Michael will be going to Los Angeles to do some filming stuff, and different people be drifted apart. So that would be really interesting to see what you said. Maybe we're going to a school where we don't have any common friend, or just maybe just one, and that is a love interest, perhaps, or maybe not. We have a new
or
group of
maybe
friends.
or maybe we can stay contact with our old friends through phone calls
Yeah,
or video chat or something like that.
yeah, exactly. The one you said, where like maybe it's the break between periods, and we're calling, or maybe just at night we're video chatting with all of our friends in a premium scene, like you said. That would be super amazing. I mean, I would be up all for that if they ever make a book like that where we can rewind. Like it's a college book, but with the high school story MC. I would love that.
Me too.
Yeah,
And I also think that when they're doing the holiday books,
yeah,
High School Story needed to get one. High School Story needed to get a holiday book. It'll either
yeah,
be about it'll either be about one of whichever ally we pick, and the after book three, we either get to experience Christmas or whatever holiday holiday they celebrate with them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, all the big series like Bloodbound or Royal Romance, they have their own holiday special. Only
Yeah.
High School Story doesn't have one, so it's a shame, to be honest. I mean, I would have loved to see either the class act or the original High School Story having a holiday special book, either Christmas or Halloween. That would have been super awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, coming to class act when at first I had some problems adjusting to it after playing High School Story for a long time. But class act is kind of different than the main high school story. Like, not that different. At first you feel like it's more about drama club, theater kids and all the acting. But then book two jumps back to the same good old high school story plot with an election plot. So they have a lot of variety in there. And then book three, the grand book, I would say, the spring festival in London. So how did you like the class act thing?
I liked it very much. I like the part in book one. I like the part where AJ complains about having phones,
Oh yeah.
and then when and once everyone leaves, AJ and MC stay back to do some business with the theater and all that, maybe painting sets or something like that, and then they accidentally get locked in overnight. They accidentally get locked in
Yeah, yeah.
overnight,
That was
and
super fun.
And that was the part where I started liking AJ. Because at first, when we met AJ, he yelled at us. He yelled at us and told us, "I'm too busy. I'm too busy. Go away." But when that part came, I got really excited, and I got really excited that we had some intimate moment with him, one on one, without him being focused on the play and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I loved AJ's character, and yeah, that moment I know, like, you know, after also, it was really funny that before that, AJ didn't have a phone, but after that, he started using one, so that was really fun.
Hmm. And in
Yeah,
book three, I like when he calls us that nickname. I don't remember what's it called, but he calls us that nickname. It's really cute.
yeah, and also his family problem, like his parents going through divorce, and his brother Mohit, he's like absolutely sweetheart.
Yes. His dad just disappeared, and we don't know where he is.
Yeah. So how did you feel about the family problem of AJ? Like how were you able to help him with that?
Since I myself also have that problem, I think once in book three, once Jim came, I helped I took all the premium scenes. I took most of the premium scenes where AJ could connect with Jim, so you could see that he was a really nice guy, and not just there to replace his dad, and see that his mom made a good choice of choosing someone who would be a better dad than his previous one. Because because most families, even though the parents are not connected, they still watch their kid. But AJ's dad didn't even come to check up on him and Mohi. So
Yeah.
I took all the scenes where AJ could connect with Jim, most of
Oh,
them.
Jim, yeah, in book three. And I hope like it gets better for you personally. But yeah, excuse me. That scene, it was really added layer to high school story class act book two and book three, like where we really get deep inside the family problem of AJ, family problem of Sky, and then Rory's family problem a little bit. So that was a really good thing there.
Rory's problem was unnecessary. It
Yeah,
wasn't it was it wasn't that really needed.
it was
And
misunderstood.
I like that one part where in book, I don't know, book two or three, where Sky's parents make her change outfits, and then she came to school with very poofy hair, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
until her parents are done funding the play, she would continue have to she would have to continuing wearing that outfit, the poofy outfit with the pink skirt and the dress and all that. It really looked cute on Sky, even though I prefer goth her goth look.
yeah. I mean, Sky is like that's Sky's trademark or classic look, like the gothic
Hmm.
look that she goes for, black or like red, black, those stripes. So yeah, like, that was a really like it was hard to recognize Sky and what her parents did to her. So yeah, I mean. This book really delved deep into like each love interest families and even our own main character and our main character's twin siblings, family drama. It was really good there.
Yeah. At first, I thought the two parents were related to MC, but in book
Yeah,
three, boom, we found out that MC and our sibling are adopted, even though even though I didn't want to believe that it was true, I had to. But I understand why, because what I call that, the real parents of MC were adopted, were secret agents, or secret agents doing undercover work. And I liked how this nice family um took their kids in, because normally people who are doing undercover jobs would just put their kids up for, or would throw their kids in an orphanage. But I like how this family took care of the twins.
Yeah, that was really interesting. And I like how we get to spend some time with our biological aunt back in England and go to a soccer match also, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was also very interesting, I believe. But also, what was I going to say? Um, High School Story Class Act did have different layers. But who did you help win in book two? I mean, was it Rory or Casey?
Casey.
Casey. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I also when I first played, I helped Casey because I thought, like uh, Casey was a bit down after the breakup in book one, and they wanted a new activity, and they were only focused on romantic interests and stuff like that. So I think, they deserved a break from all of this, and being president, handling responsibility, I think could have been the big break.
I only chose her because she's our sibling. She's our sibling. But I didn't choose Rory because he wasn't my love interest. But if anybody else, such as AJ or Sky went, I would have chose them instead of Casey. You're still here?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So your love interest was AJ, right?
Yes.
And he's one of your favorite love interests. So do tell me, like, I would love to hear from you, like, why AJ like is your the most favorite love interest of all the choices books? Like, what you know, s- what does stand out about him, or what is a speciality for him? I would love to hear.
For him, only I first started liking him when we got locked in
Yeah,
the theater, and then as went on and on, had intimate moments when, and he's very protective of his brother, very kind. He focuses. He's good with his cares about family traditions and stuff like that. And even though he and his family was having problems, he didn't let that down on him and stuff like that. He just went with it. He's very protective of his and I like how, even though he still likes Shakespeare and he likes Shakespeare and stuff like that,
yeah,
like Shakespeare stuff like that, he still carries records and stuff and likes reading in his room. I think I could really connect to him on a personal level, as he's a nerd, bookish, and he also has that like olden time olden time romance stuff like that. He's really passionate about his interests and hobbies.
yeah. I exactly know what you mean there. I mean, it's I like that about AJ too. I mean, I chose to romance Rory, and I was really connected to her. Otherwise, I mean, AJ, I mean, as much as I could, I helped him with his family problems and all the other problems. I absolutely loved him, like, his brother Mohit and some moments spending with them. I think it was really special, and we don't see characters like AJ that much. And something I liked about him. From the very start, like he was a grumpy, workaholic, but then slowly we get to know them, that they had a past, why he said like romancing between caste is not allowed. So there were a lot of chemistries there. And then as we get to know him, he has like a competitive nature. He gets really competitive, and so it was always fun to mess around with him, calling him names and using some weird puns, like you are AJ Zing. Remember when we sent in this winter festival some candies to him? You'd be like, "Hey, you're AJ Zing." So
Yeah,
it was really fun around him. I mean, he's one of the most interesting characters that you would love to have around you.
yeah. I wish he was real.
Yeah. Actually, I wish all of the high school story characters were real, because they were really, interesting characters. And specifically, AJ, Sky, Rory. I mean, they were just amazing people to be around with, and even the side characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, let me think of some important choices. How bad was Principal Isa for you?
Very she wa- I think she was like an evil witch for me. E- kids are allowed to. No, I mean she was very evil to me because even at the festival in the original and book two, for raising money or something like that, when Aiden got her, Principal Essa got very upset and blamed it on the MC for their reckless choices. But it doesn't matter. In the snow or in the ice, it's normal for a person to get hurt. But she blamed it on MC. And during the food fight, we knew it was gonna happen. We knew she knew that there were tensions, but didn't try to do anything to stop it, because the money that they earned, and they didn't do anything to stop it because the money that they were earning during the festival and stuff like that, she and her brother, that was the gym teacher, was
Yeah.
spending yeah. But even though but even though Principal Hughes was doing crazy stuff, she didn't really say anything because she didn't want she didn't want anything to, she didn't want her to notice about Principal Esa doing strange things and stuff. Then I like how almost around the ending of book two, we find out we find out that her real name is Ashley Ferraris, and all the
Yeah.
characters gather around, and Maria's two fathers come step in and call the police, and there's a big drama scene unfolding. Half of it was in the last chapter, then half of it was in the second last chapter, and half of it was in the last chapter. And then there's I don't know, some party or something about them stopping the principal. About stopping Principal Essa, who we now know as Ashley Forrest. And then and then we have a choice to either. And then when Principal Essa's gone, we have a choice either to keep Principal Hughes, or we have a choice to let a new
Yeah.
principal come, Principal Rivero. Principal Rivero's personality was kind
So
of
what did you
boring
choose?
and stuff like that. But I chose to let Principal Principal Hughes go, and let the new principal step in.
Yeah, that was a good choice, I guess. I did the same thing when I played it first.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole Isa thing and at the end how we get her, it was a really good drama. I loved it in High School Story Book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me think of some choices about High School Story Class Act. Excuse me. So High School Story Book 3, Class Act Book 3. How did you like the end and the plot there about the Spring Festival in London? How did you feel about that?
Mm, it was pretty good. But when the book was ending, I actually teared up because I knew that we weren't going to see we weren't going to see our love interests anymore and the amazing characters. That it was a good way to spend it was a good way to spend the um last chapter because they have been there for the most of book 3. So why not just spend their moments there moments there, like exploring the sites and then afterwards having a big party there to memory all that, and maybe they can see their aunt afterwards, continuing seeing their aunt afterwards.
Yeah, it was really good. And w- about this, the High School Story Class Act Book 3, it had a different appeal to it, didn't it? Like, it was something special. Like, it wrapped up a big, nostalgic series in choices.
Yes, when it ended, I wish it was still going with a new MC and new cast, but we see the we see the class act characters as background characters.
Yeah, I would have been all for that because I would have chose. Let's just say I would have liked that over some of the recent books. I mean, High School Story is definitely one of my favorites, so I would have just killed for another book from High School Story. But did you think that after book two that there was going to be a book three when you like ended reading book two?
No, I didn't really think that. I
Yeah,
didn't really.
because how until book one of high school, until book two of High School Story, at the end of every book they show a little glimpse of what was going to happen in book three. But book two was the first time when they didn't show us a glimpse of book three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit weird for me. I thought maybe it's the end, but then they came back with the book three, and I liked it very much.
Same here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, High School Story will definitely be there in my memory as the high school I attended. In choices, I absolutely love the characters, be it from the original High School Story book or the class act. Like all the love interests there. My personal favorite is Emma and Rory from both books, respectively. But it was just amazing spending time with them, and specifically in class act where we are a theater kid for the first time and exploring the drama, Shakespeare and this backstage drama and all the other stuff, like impromptu. In book three we explored that more election. I would say like it's a full high school experience there, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so before we move on to Wake the Dead and some other new book talk, do you have anything else to add about High School Story or AJ particularly that we missed?
Not really.
Okay. Excuse me. So, let's talk about Wake the Dead. Before we jump right into Wake the Dead, I have a question. Did you play the Royal finale last chapter?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to hear from you. Like, will you be able to summarize the last book a bit, and specifically the last chapter of Royal Finale? I know it was really long, 32 minutes or something. So, do you think it was the worth it and the right wrap of like the right wrap for the book, or you know series that the Royal franchise is in choices? So, I would love to hear your opinion.
Okay. Here's what happens. After we send in the previous chapter before the last one, we send we send our thingy we send Stingred. There's this group, the Imperially, who wanna take our dot, make a school with our they do stuff behind and do like evil stuff, try to take down the thing, and so they can change the rules and stuff like that. And then at the end, we cancel. There's the secret society. We bring them down by sending all the members to jail, except Liam's sister Lena, who we let her go free. We let her go free, and we let her go free because before, everyone in the kingdom didn't know that she existed. Liam herself thought she was dead. She died at birth. At the end of the chapter, um, at the end of chapter, just a wrap up. Everything was ending. Lena was now was out to the public. Olivia, if we didn't pick Liam as our love interest, if you didn't pick Liam as our love interest, she either goes with Amalea's or Liam, the King Liam, and it's like a wrap up of like we seeing everyone's finished backstories where Drake and his like the review the forest review of his the forest review that his father made. We see him going there and saying a few
You
kind
got
words.
disconnected again, but can you hear
Mhm.
me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you were saying about the secret society, and then you got cut off.
Yeah. Forest. The secret society. Um, the secret society. No, the secret society is where it's about 5 members, and the MC has to go around each kingdom to find out who they are. Then in the last chapter, things like no, the previous chapter, we send all the members to jail except Liam's sister, Lena, Liam's sister, Liam's sister, and like Liam's sister, and then at the after we have like a party, a big ball about them saving the day and Lena being able to not for the kingdom to see her because everyone thought she died. She passed away at birth, and then Olivia, who we saw, Olivia, who we saw, no, no. If we don't pick Liam as our interest,
Yeah.
which I did, we get if you don't pick Liam as our love interest, which I made him as my love interest.
Okay.
Olivia, we get to romance him with Olivia, Olivia gets to romance him with Olivia, or Olivia gets if or Olivia gets to go with Amalea,
Oh, that's interesting.
and at the end of the chapter, they're just having partying, having fun, friends getting together, and then we get we get our picture taken, and then at the end of the chapter, almost at the end,
Yeah.
MC tells her friends that she's having another child, and I wish we got a wish we got a spin-off series so we could see how how the child how the child died.
Yeah.
we're having a next child, and then or ended the story like that. I thought we get an extra chapter, or we get a sixth book on seeing how how MC's second child would adapt and all that. Even if she stays a baby for most of the book, the second child.
Interesting. So, one question. He told us about Liam's sister, right?
Yes.
So, what happens to her at the end? Like, does she get romantically matched with anyone?
No.
That's interesting. So only Olivia with Liam, right? If we don't choose
No,
anyone.
if Liam's not your interest, if Liam's not your interest, then you get to romance him with either you get to romance her with either Liam or Amalea.
Amalea. Okay, interesting. And what about like the finale? Like, was it worth it? Because there are lots of Royal Romance fans who have been playing it for a long time, and there are so many books and spin-offs of the Royal Romance. So they wanted the ending to be a grander, if not the grandest, and like a big, huge. And it was a big one. I saw the chapter description. It said 32 minutes. I don't think there is any choices book that has 32 minutes, chapter length, minute. So, what do you think of this? What's your opinion?
I think it was worth it. It was worth it, but they could have at least made a mini series of 5 chapters, so we could see how the how the second child of MC would turn out to be.
Yeah, I know.
But the book was good, and the ending was good in general.
I know.
Some people hated it because the series has been running too long. From the
I know.
beginning of the series, from the beginning of the royal finale, was just parties, parties, parties. Going to do
I,
this, going to do that, going to do this, going to do that. That secrets club. Do this, do that, do this. She wasn't spending that much time with her daughter, but at the end, how the whole group interacted, it was really nice.
that's really cool. That is really cool. I I'm glad you know you know that chapter was good at least, but it was dragged a bit. I guess like a lot of books in there. Um, but yeah, yeah. Also, do you have VIP?
No,
What do you think about the VIP subscription? And recently, the thing they did that, VIP early access, that all newly releasing books will be VIP. What do you think about that?
I used to have VIP, but at the time I never played any of the books. I only went for diamonds and keys. At that time, I was in school, so I was in school in 10th grade, so I didn't really use the diamonds and keys a lot. So that's why VIP was wasted my time getting VIP. But nowadays, since we're in quarantine, I have nothing to do. I wish I spent the money on VIP now than before. Because VIP is how I want to continue playing Wake the Dead, and I want to just I need the keys so I can just quickly quickly rush through the chapters, quickly rush through chapters of the books that I don't like,
Yeah,
chapters
I
of books
know.
I don't like, instead of having to having to wait for hours and hours, and skipping over the premium scenes without diamonds.
I know what you mean. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, that would have been really exciting. But I think just the price, if they lowered it a bit, that'd be a bit easier to access. specifically outside of US, depending on where you are, it gets pretty costly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one thing. But anyway, um, talking about you said reading about Wag the Dead. So I don't think in any other app store there's a zombie book, and Joyce has tried it out for the first time. And we're talking about our sister just when we started the podcast. But the first two chapters of Wake the Dead, well, wow. I mean, I am thrilled to read this series, but is it not good? I mean, what uh first two chapter, they did, it's just, amazing, mind blowing. Like they opened the plot quite well.
Yes. I like the zombie sound effects and designs. I thought they were gonna reuse models from Night Round, but they went for new models.
Yeah, the Nightbound skeleton model, right?
Hmm. I thought they were gonna reuse it and make very little changes by like adding flesh or stuff like that on it. And the sound effects are really great.
Yeah, the zombie sound effect, the soundtrack, the music they've used, the
Yeah.
background. It's a, and when the first time, for the very first time, when they showed us the zombie, so they're calling it drones. That's interesting.
Mm. Every time they say drones, I think of drone like the airplane, the helicopter thing that flies. Every time they say drones,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what comes to mind.
yeah. Actually, when I first played Wake the Dead, the first chapter, and we were attacked by the zombie, and then there was a description. You take the drone from inside out. I was thinking, like, did he have a drone at our hand? Like, are we using it as a weapon against the zombie? And then later I found out, oh no, so they're calling drone the zombies drone. Okay,
Yeah. Which weapon did you choose?
I chose crossbow.
Same same thing.
Yeah, I think you don't need to get closer to the zombies, but you can wreak havoc with this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who do you think will be your love interest for now?
I think we have met Ellie, and then Shannon, and that guy who's our best friend Troy. I think these three are going to be. We're
There's
gonna
one.
get to,
I think there's one more.
yeah, Angel or something. You're right.
I already
That's it.
know. I already know who mine's gonna be.
Who?
Troy. Troy.
Troy. Yeah, I mean Troy is really attractive. I'm just waiting to see the four Li in a full swing. Um, Troy is definitely charming. He gives me Mal vibes from Blades of Light and Shadow. Ellie is like Imtera, and Shannon is like Nia, I feel like. But I might go for Shannon, but I don't know. I'll have to see Angel. And Ellie also is, a really good character. And so is Troy, like you're talking about it. So is Troy. I mean, I'm really impressed with Troy. He's really cocky, a bit, rogue, and our best friends. So we have the chemistry there. So I would love to see what happens.
Yeah.
Listen, and who was your love interest in? Did you play Blades of Light and Shadow?
Yes.
So who was your love interest there?
Nia.
Nia. Ah, good. Yeah, she was a great character there.
But I wish Prince Aaron was an ally.
Oh yeah, I thought that would be the case, but at the end moment, he betrayed us, and he was not just any betrayal, but he was he was literally the one who invited or who created this, portal between our world and the dark world. So it was really interesting because I didn't page him for a character that kind of a character. I thought Aaron is a good character, and his brother treated him the bad way. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was an interesting thing. But I would love to know at the start of book one, what choice did you make? Did you go for the supplies, or did you save someone's your crew's life?
Save Crew's life.
So who? So the driver is alive in your playthrough.
No, let me see. Should, go for the supply. Yeah, I saved someone's life.
That's interesting. Oh, and what do you think of the clan leader, the tower leader, Marcus Blackstock? Oh, he's a horrible person.
Yes. I wish MC could have just ran, removed the chains of someone, and just remove the chains of someone. No, first use their bow and arrow to shoot the zombies. Quickly remove the chains from the people that are hanging. Quickly gather them and put them and gather them and take them along with them. If and then later on in the book, if those people who were on chains die, then they die. If they die, or if they become dead, if they become too much to handle, then MC can decide to leave them or keep them along,
Yeah,
because most of the characters that were chosen to be eaten by the zombies, many of MC and their friends knew them.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. But I think, Marcus was standing there and he would have shot us if he had seen, if he had even seen a slight, movement from us, he would have shot us like he shot one of our friends. So I think that was keeping us from helping them. But yeah, it was really, really sorrowful to watch them getting our friends getting eaten by zombies in front of our eyes when we were, spying from underbush.
Yeah, but I wish they released the first two chapters, and then on the next week they released the third one.
Yeah, that was really weird because when they released it for VIP folks, they released two chapters on the same day and then the third chapter on the second day. But for non VIPs, they released one chapter one day and the second chapter next Wednesday. It was really, I think, weird and unfair.
Yeah. Yes.
That was just something. And for your sister, did you take the letters that are memories for Ellie for his parents or someone close to him?
Yes, I took them
Yeah, I took them too.
because
They're
the diamond choice was so small. I was able to do it
yeah. How many diamonds was it?
around maybe 10 or 12.
10 or 12. Yeah, it was affordable. Yeah, yeah, it was good. And also one thing that is, yeah. Well, there was another important choice. I can think of it now, but um, did you take the grenade?
No.
No, that's interesting. Um, I think there are lots of weapons in here. So, what level are you in zombie killing?
Mm, nothing short. Nothing. appeared on the chart.
Oh
The
yeah,
chart,
same for me. Like it's like I think it's still newbie.
yeah, because at something the level up thing appeared.
Yeah. And also it says like 28 days until solstice at the end of the each chapter. So I think something pretty important is significant is going to happen on solstice.
I think I think maybe they'll find a place where the zombies can't reach them, something like that.
Yeah, probably. So depending on the first two chapters, how do you think the story is going to go? Like, what's your prediction?
I think either half of our characters will die or something, or in the middle of the story, like around chapters 5 through 10, our sister might appear again. I think because our sister might appear again because nowadays choices have like people who have been said dead are appearing later on in the story. Later on in the story, they like doing that plot. So I think
Yeah.
so I think our sister might reappear, or we might our parents might reappear again later on in the story.
Agent. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think if our sister is alive, it would be something like Cade from Blaze of Light and Shadow, and I would love that because I really hate to see our sister dying. It was really emotional, and I think you shared a tweet saying you cried over this, right?
Yeah, I actually cried. I cried, and I was sitting in the bathroom playing it. And I was crying, and my mom, was wondering why, and I couldn't tell her.
Yeah, I know. It was really emotional, I do get sometimes emotional with choices like, specifically when I was playing High School Story, and at the end of book one, class act, when Rory's mother was, there after the play, like I did like, my eyes were watery, but I did like cry, but like I was on the edge, and I was almost about to tear up, but my eyes were watery, but yeah, it was really emotional.
Yeah, that part I couldn't cry because if I do, everyone in the classroom would start looking at me.
I know
That's why I
what you
didn't.
mean. Yeah. No, when you play alone, like at home, and in a quiet place, the emotions get to you more than if you are like outside or in a classroom full of kids or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, what other books are you playing? Shipwrecked or Wolf Pride?
Mm, I've stopped Wolf Bride and Shipwreck for now. The only thing I'm maybe keeping up with is Wake the Dead. I've stopped playing other books for now.
That's interesting. I also kind of stopped Wolf Pride. Shipwrecked, I'm still reading, but I didn't get enough time with Wolf Pride. And with Queen Bee ended, so there's a vacancy, so I might be able to do only Wolf Pride and Wake the Dead every Wednesday. That'd be easier.
I don't like Queen Bee anymore because the MC is becoming annoying.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a bit like book one was really good, but in
Yeah.
book two, I think sometimes when we take down the opponents and X's minions, it's kind of I don't really like the way it's just us versus the nerds at first and every time, and the way they get treated. It's just kind of weird at some points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
playing good girl Rue or bad girl?
Of course, good girl. But I think even if you choose good girl, at sometimes even if you had chosen good girl, some things you do that is actually bad girl type.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good girl.
Yep, same for you. Good girl route. Um, that's what it is. And who, if I ask you, who are your top three love interest in choice? I know AJ is one, but who are the other two? Or top
AJ,
five?
okay, AJ from Class Act,
Hmm.
Salone from Perfect Match.
Hmm.
Third will be Simon from Wake the Dead. I mean Simon from Save the Date.
Oh,
Simon from
same to this. Yeah.
Simon from Save the Date, and fourth will be Oliver from Distant Shores,
Oh yeah,
and
Oliver.
fifth. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Players. Fifth is fifth. Mm, fifth. Who's fifth? Oh, fifth is something. A Morgan from It Lives Beneath.
Oh yeah, I loved Emma again too. I mean, I would have chosen her if it weren't for Parker and Danny. Only because of them, I couldn't choose Imogen. But yeah. And what about your top five books?
Class act. Mother of the Year. Wishful thinking.
Uh,
Wishful thinking. It lives the It Lives series and the unexpected Harris.
Oh, the unexpected heiress. I mean, I love that.
I'm still not
Who?
I'm, I'm still not finished.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
recommend you like whenever you have time, read it. I mean, this is perhaps the best book I read last year. I mean, Laws of Attraction was good. That's at some to some extent, I would say to me, Unexpected Heiress even overperformed Laws of Attraction. It was a really good book. Who are you going to romance in The Unexpected Heiress?
Mr. John.
Ah, same, Mr. John. Which John did you choose? For me, it was a Hispanic one.
I chose the black one.
Oh, let's go. John, it was a really good love interest in there. I love John. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go. And who are your top villains in choices? Top five.
Let me think. Number one would be number one. Raffi Highmore from the Elementalists.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Kane from the
Yeah.
Elementalists,
Yeah, book two.
and Silas from Hero.
Oh yeah.
Um, Silas from Hero. Let me see. Silas from Hero, and let me see two
What
more. Two
about
more.
Everett? Rourke.
Okay, no, I don't like. I never liked Endless Summer that much.
Uh,
So that guy from Perfect Match that Cecile works for,
oh yeah. I'm forgetting
and
his name. But yeah.
and Principal Essa.
Oh yeah. He was horrible. From High School Story book two. I know. I mean, Principal Isa and Raif was horrible villain, and then yeah, and Silas. If Hero was not cancelled, I think we would have seen more of him.
Yeah. It's because of the arts. The art style is why they canceled it.
Yeah, and Bolus is now also on hiatus again for another year. I don't know what would happen with that book.
I hope it doesn't get canceled.
Same here. I mean, I love Bolus, so wouldn't want it to be cancelled. Okay,
So
and yeah, go on.
on continue.
Oh no, I was just talking about that. Sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, um, what else book did you have now? Yeah, Mismatch is coming up. Are you excited about Mismatch?
Mm, I'm kind of excited.
Interesting.
I want books
Same.
that have I want books that either have more action or drama, or some book about like college or high school or work type setting.
Yeah, same. I love that kind of. Cause Laws of Attraction, High School Story. These books are my favorite for the same reason. My Two First Loves, and of the three books coming out next year, Untamable, Cursed Heart, and Princess Swap. Which ones are you most excited for?
I'm excited for Princess Swap and Cursed Heart.
Yeah, they sound really good. Names. I'm excited for Cursed Heart and Untamable, since Untamable is a country book, and I really love Big Sky Country, and I'm a sucker for country. So let's see what they give us with Untamable.
The covers for Untamable, they look awful.
Yeah, it's like Surrender.
Hmm.
Yeah, hopefully the story is a bit better. Let's see what happens. But if it's too much smutty, then it would be like a bit let down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Um, all right, so that's all I had written down for the topics. Do you have anything to add? Anything to say?
No.
Okay. All right, so then I guess that will be it. Thanks for joining again. I loved having, there were some interruptions, we got disconnected. I will like join everything together, all the clips. But thanks again for joining. I had fun talking about one of my favorite choices book in not only just choices, but in the history of, you know, um, interactive game, High School Story and High School Story Class Act. Great characters like AJ and Sky, Rory, and all the friend group. And also about the new books and your favorite things from choices. Thanks for joining again, and you guys can follow him on his social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'll be linking below, and his YouTube channel. You can press the I button and go to his YouTube channel and watch unique playthroughs and a lot of interesting books. I love the work you put in there, and uh, I would thanks for coming in. I would love if you come back again and have a conversation about another choices topic.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. The pleasure's all mine. All right.